opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or messages posted in chat are strictly their own personal views and do not reflect the views of Bolin Services, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit organization, nor does it reflect the views of the sponsors of this program. Political commentary, if any, are strictly personal opinions and should not be construed as endorsements of or opposition to any political party, candidate, or voter initiative by Bolin Services, Inc. This audio-visual presentation is copyrighted by Kenneth W. Bolin. No rebroadcast, retransmission, simulcast, or other distribution of this video or the audio associated with it is permitted without the express written permission of Kenneth W. Bolin. All original content on this presentation is owned in full and solely by Kenneth W. Bolin.
Warning, the following podcast has extremely high levels of Kenny Bolin. Studies have shown that excessive exposure to Kenny Bolin may have damaging effects to your physical and mental well-being. Viewer discretion is advised. No, seriously, we mean it. There will be naughty words, lots of them, probably. Now you've been warned. This warning sponsored by the Story Time with Dutch Mantel.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am so unprepared. It's not even funny, as what else is new, right? So unprepared. Getting ready to try to give you all a little entertainment tonight. A few questions and answered, a few questions ignored, a few questions denied, probably. Look who's here.
Nine.
Look who's here.
Happy New Year to everyone around the world, including all points in between. Earth, Mars, the moon.
The sun and the moon, the wind and the rain.
And the wind they called Mariah.
You got a blur going on in your background there?
I do have a blurred background today.
Just waking up from a brief 1 hour nap, those are always the worst.
Not long enough to get any really good sleep, but too long to make you tired. Yeah.
Not really. Hi, Scooby. Come here, Scooby. You want to say hi, everybody? Come here. What up, Scooby?
Ladies and gentlemen, Scooby-Doo.
He big dog. He got to meet the nurse today for the first time. So that's the first time I got to meet him. And there's Cow dog over here. Hi, Cow. You gonna come over? You want to say hi? He said, I don't go through the trouble of coming up there. So that just looks like a lot of trouble. Scooby looks about 9'2". Out here. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Cal might have to go out. He refused to go out when I was letting the dogs out. So if it comes to that, we'll worry about that in a little bit. Yeah, that's the sign right there. I never am totally sure which Texas teams you're backing up. Y'all got like 13 universities down there.
We have a lot, yeah.
And then an 8-mile radius of Jerry World.
None of us know anything. We have that many universities and not a
lot of schooling going on down there. A lot of education being passed.
If I were to pick one Texas team, it would be Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Although I would also,
I didn't realize Texas Tech was your primary Texas team. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was my wife's, and so it kind of became mine as a default. I do. TCU is local here to Fort Worth area, so that's kind of my.
I would have thought either TCU or a lot of people would just adopt the Longhorns if they call themselves Texans, like Marcus Henry does.
I will root for the Longhorns, like if they're playing Oklahoma or if they're playing Alabama or Georgia, one of those teams.
I think even I root for Texas against Alabama.
Yeah, it's just a given, right? You kind of have to.
Now, this is how the show started out the other night. Ron here, we got 5 people watching. We've got no comments. I was about to wrap it up about 13 minutes in because I don't think anybody had said anything. I'm on here 13 minutes by myself doing a monologue. Nobody has said anything. And then finally a $10 donation comes through and I said, okay, there's something, Was
It's
it worth
something.
showing up for? Probably not. And
But it's something.
well, at least there's a Facebook comment. Maybe it takes a little while before the YouTubers actually get
Well,
acknowledgement.
and we are on 8:45, which is a little bit of a different time.
Well, 9:45
SmackDown,
Eastern.
yeah.
9:45.
SmackDown
Oh,
is
that's
running
right.
3 hours tonight.
SmackDown. Okay, so yeah, so the
Well,
first 15 minutes might be a little slow.
Well,
I'm going to tell you how
SmackDown's 3 hours now.
Well, I'm going to tell you how. What's that?
SmackDown is 3 hours now, starting tonight.
When did that happen?
Starting tonight. That's why when I said starting tonight, that would typically mean that it started.
I didn't hear you fucking say that, you moody little.
Because you interrupted me.
I almost got out of the Christmas spirit. You interrupted me when I was interrupting you. Now you know how that goes.
I'm sorry for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 3 hours that started tonight, but Raw is 2 to 2.5 hours.
Yeah, depending on what they want to run, right?
What mood they're in.
Yeah, and of course, being on Netflix, they can end whenever they want to. They don't really.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So in other words, I guess our entire show tonight will be head to head against the mighty SmackDown.
It is, yes.
Which a lot of people are bitching about, claiming that it sucks anymore, and they don't watch it. So
I haven't watched a lot. Like I watched a little bit tonight, and so being first one on of the year, and the first 3 hour when they have introduced.
Now, is it live tonight?
It is live, yeah.
Okay.
And a couple of new roster additions, some call-ups from NXT.
Yeah.
Trick Williams looks like Jordan Grace.
But is that really a roster call-up? I mean,
it's not like
a lot of people say NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown.
I don't watch NXT on a regular basis, so I wouldn't know from a storyline perspective.
I tell you what, their females do a hell of a promo.
Yeah, the SmackDown, or sorry, the NXT pay-per-views tend to be really good wrestling wise, and so that's about all I can really judge it on. I don't typically watch the show.
Yeah,
but they had Zack Ryder returned. Only this time he's now under his indie wrestling name, Matt Cardona, and they announced that he had signed back with WWE. So Zack Ryder
we had him here at OVW as Zack Ryder. I didn't know he was Matt Cardona until after he left back.
Yeah, so which I thought was a little odd. Because he came back for the Cena tournament. It was back one night for that, and he was back as Zack Ryder. And I thought, well, okay, whatever, that's fine. They own that name, so they're going to want to use that name.
Why not?
Sure, why not? And then and same thing when Nick Nemeth came back as Dolph Ziggler, right? Rather than Nemeth, like he's been working in TNA recently, and as he did when he was with OVW, right? He was Nick Nemeth back then.
He was Nick Nemeth down here, yeah.
Yeah, so but I was surprised to see him back at all, much less wrestling as Matt Cardona, because that's unlike the WWE to give up control of a name that way. So
it rarely happens. I've been seeing a lot of people claim that they're not going to watch WWE anymore until Triple H is fired. Okay, who wants to weigh the percentages of that happening and understands how family business?
Well, it's not going to happen. And two, as soon as something interesting happens, you'll watch it again.
No, of course,
like you always do.
They always do. Nothing ever changes. The booking has been pretty bad lately. Just whatever it is you're looking for, whether it's wrestling or entertainment or good storylines.
I think the John Cena retirement sort of took over the end of December, and they just, it's almost like they didn't want to do anything that might even possibly overshadow that.
Well, they didn't have that to worry about.
Kind of running on fumes, since then. I think they're planning on having a big start on Monday because that's the 1 year anniversary of Raw on Netflix. I think that will be probably a pretty big show, and they've loaded some stuff on tonight's SmackDown. I don't know that it's really that great, but they had Trick Williams come out as, again, that's an NXT debut.
That's my son's favorite. He thinks that's the guy right there, is Trick Williams.
Obi Fema, or I want to call him Obi-Wan Fett.
Obi-Wan, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
He looks really
something
strong.
there. There's something there, but he comes across extremely phony. I think
He needs a little polish. He needs some polish still.
I think to be a success to the level of a Cena or a Shawn Michaels or a Bret Hart or a Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Cody Rhodes,
Cody Rhodes, that there has to be a lot of your natural self. And yeah, maybe amplify that. I mean, even Cornette would say that about me is that, well, that Kenny's Kenny, he just amps it up a little bit for television. And maybe sometimes double or three times for television.
Well,
but
guess what?
But the personality has to be there. And this Obi, what do they call him?
Obi Fema, I think.
I mean, the look is certainly there. You can't argue the look, but the promos seem very, very put on, very over exaggerated, and not that the Undertaker was. It's not like Mark Calloway was the Undertaker. It's
right.
rare. It's rare that in this day and age that phony ass gimmick gets over to that level. So Steve Austin was not getting over his stunning Steve. It just wasn't happening. He'll be the first to tell you that.
Now,
Kane wasn't getting over in any of the fucking gimmicks they put him under.
Isaac Yankem or whoever.
Jesus Christ! Well, that was apparently Lawler's idea.
Have you watched Lash Legend?
I love her, and there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah,
I actually like her better than Jade Cargill, and
really. Well, you've been a big fan of Jade Cargill.
Kick me out for just a second. That's my son, and let me see what that's about. He's his first full day in Manila.
All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, let me do this. We got the hair. The hair is a mess. It's getting way long. Have not cut my hair since I think it's been May now, so it's getting quite long there on the side. Can't really tell because of the black shirt, but yeah, it's down to here on the shoulders and obviously all over. So I'm still thinking about getting it colored again, but I think right now I'm just going to let it grow out, continue to grow long. So there's the hair update. I do like Lash Legend. I think she is super strong. She is a big woman without being a Nia Jax kind of big. She's just a big, powerful woman. I think there's a lot of potential there. I do think a Jade Cargill Lash Legend match is in the coming. I think when Bianca Belair gets back, there's going to be quite a bit of the women's title. The women's picture looks pretty sharp. There's a lot of talent there on the women's side, a lot of talent on the men's side too. But I mean, typically, the ladies have been 2, 3, maybe 4 of them that you guys are you even watching the show? Or y'all just calling and say, "Hey, put me help me." Hey, Sean Kendall, hello, Tammy fan for life. I don't know which Tammy that is. Hey, Catalan. Hello, gentlemen. Hello, May. Hello, Jen. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Giselle. Even though you're not saying hello to me, that's fine. I think the women have got a lot to offer now, and the women's roster is really deep. The fact that you've got Charlotte and Alexa and Asuka and Kyrie and Rhea and Io fighting over tag team belts as opposed to trying to put those ladies in the main event picture. Still, you've got Stephanie Vaquer, you've got Liv Morgan, you've got Raquel Rodriguez, you've got Roxanne Perez, terrific. I think I've never seen a women's roster in WWE as strong as it is today. So I'm hoping for big things in 2026 out of the women's roster, and actually look more. Actually, one of these days, one of the two major companies, WWE, AEW, is going to bite the bullet and put on an hour-long women's only show. Now, I mean, I know there's been like Glow and some of the women's only promotions, but most of those have been kind of tongue in cheek, and even the ones that were a little more serious, um, the characters were way over the top and stuff. And so I would really love to see a um, Wednesday night WWE show, 2 hours, maybe with the women, or even just an hour. Give them an hour. Give them an hour of SmackDown. Just dedicated to the women. I know Kenny has oftentimes talked about that. Kenny, are you ready to come back in? All right, let's bring him back in.
Yeah, just got a call from my son, and when he was in Bangkok, the store of choice there was 7-Eleven. When I was a teenage kid, or even before I was a teenager, when I was about 10, 11 years old in LaGrange, there was a 7-Eleven that I used to run to every day. And it was probably a mile round trip to run there and run back. And I did that every day. Whatever we needed, Kenny, go to the store. So in Bangkok, he was in a 17-story high-rise apartment building there. And in the building is a 7-Eleven. If you wanted to go shopping, you go down there and you go to 7-Eleven. So he says, well, I just went out and I've done my first bit of shopping. And he said, I'm heading back to the apartment. I said, yeah, where'd you go? He said, 7-Eleven. I said, is there any other stores in Asia other than 7-Eleven? He says, no. He says, I took about a 25-minute walk, ran into 2 7-Elevens, went to the Manila Bay to the sea to watch the beach and the birds and everything. And he says, heading back home. And he says, but it's heaven here. I said, why is that? He said, Red Bull's $1 a can. Here in America, it's nothing to pay $3.50 for a can of Red Bull if you're at 7-Eleven. But there, you can just walk in there and then they're pretty cheap. And he's going to be getting with Honey Rose tomorrow. They're going to Shake Shack at the Mall of Asia. And so that'll be pretty cool. My YouTube TV account works for him there. So he was watching Wave 3 News from Louisville when I called him. He set it up on his thing. And there it was, Wave 3 popping in on YouTube TV. So he's going to show some. He's going to show some of my Filipino friends local news. And to show that the city of Louisville, which has a population of Metro Louisville is about 350,000 people. Metro Manila is a population of about 22 million, and give or take. And if you want to count all the surrounding areas, and we probably out murder rate them when it comes to murders on the news. So we're going to show people how they really need to live. Let's see, Tammy Fan for Life. They're a member. I've seen them come in here before. And
is it Tammy Sitch Fan for Life?
I don't know. They haven't really expressed it. Does it say Tammy or Tommy?
It says Tammy. Tammy. Maybe it's Tammy Faye Baker.
Could be. Well, yeah, aren't we all? Charlie Baker wrote me before the show. He's the guy that was
not Tammy Faye Baker.
No, it was Charlie Baker wrote me. And he wrote me and wanted to know if there's any YouTube. He said he's working for a wrestling promotion out in Carroll County somewhere. And Tammy Wynette. Well, stand by your man. That's about all I got. What was it? I was raised on Tammy Wynette, and was it Porter Wagner? Is that who she was with? Tammy Wynette. Yes. Mm-hmm. Tammy Wynette. I was raised Tammy on Wynette
and well, actually, George Jones.
That's what I think. That's when. George Jones and Tammy Wynette. Excuse me. Yeah, Porter Wagner.
Yeah, Dolly was with Porter Wagner.
With Dolly Parton. Yeah. So I think that's when we first discovered that Kenny Bolin probably was not going to be a racist because of all that country shit that was shoved down my throat as a kid. The only one I liked was Charlie Pride. So it was kind of evident then that I wasn't lining up with the white people too much. And because I used to love Kalijah. Yeah, Dolly was. So we got our country fan in here keeping me up to snuff here. So like I said, let's kick off the new year. Let's see if because we started out real slow on Christmas Eve and was making next to nothing. We had like $10. And before the night was over, we ended up having a $200 night on Christmas Eve. So that was very nice. The final donation came in from Robert Palmer from England, after the show, he got us the extra $20 we needed to get to the $200 mark. And shitload of that out went in a hurry. A shitload of it went out early, but hey, at least we got those families covered for what they needed. And we've got about 3 or 4 more families right now that are looking for some rice help, electric help. I did get a family write me today, wanting to know if I could cover their school. Mango's family wanted to know if I could help with school fees. And I said, well, that's just something we're not doing right now. We're just not getting enough donations in to cover school fees and rice and tarps and all the various things. And I've reached out to some of our heavy hitters. I was hoping they might do something for us, being as we're a 501c3 before the end of the new year, but none of them did. So they might have been all donated out for this year. I don't know. So we'll see where that leads us for next year. But it is kind of weird that my son is in the land where all my people are. All my people say. It's a Macklemore reference for those of you that aren't up to snuff on shit. So let me look at the phone, see if we got any donations in. I had no clue that it was a 3-hour show. Oh, so Charlie Baker. Charlie writes, but I'm going to read this. And Bob, I know you don't claim to be a managerial professional wrestling expert, but you tell me how you would handle it. Let me get those good old readers out here. I finally get my $650 pair of glasses here in about a week.
I'll give my non-expert opinion.
How much are your glasses? You probably have real glasses. You don't have the
It's
Zini
been a while since I've gotten real replacement glasses. I need to do that.
But those last are probably insurance. Those are probably insurance covered.
Well, yeah. So insurance will cover a certain amount, but insurance is like, yeah, glasses are kind of like. When you
they covered all mine, but probably because I'm on Medicaid.
So you go into the doctor, or you go into you go into a car dealer and you go, I'd like to buy this car. They go, great, this car is $10,000. Super, I'll take it, $10,000. Then you go talk to the.
Then you want all the extras. And he goes, then you want all the extras.
And by the way, here's this the windshield coverage and the tire coverage, and then the next thing you know, it's like $22,000. Okay. So glasses are kind of that way for me. They're like, okay, here's your glasses. Oh, you want a UV coat? I haven't read that yet. So, hi, Kenny. How are you? Period. That's a question. Should end in a question mark, but we're not going to get grammatical tonight. I miss when you and Jimmy would do broadcasts.
You better not, or I can never make another post again if that's the case.
Especially them stories that you told that made Jimmy laugh so hard. That was the time you were in the hospital with the money under your bed.
That's a true story.
Talking about when you came home.
It was $7,500.
The dogs ate the cake icing and pooped everywhere.
They
did.
Good
time stories.
That's a true. Dogs and poop, man. You just can't beat the story.
It's to me, my fondest memories involves dogs and poop. That's all.
Dogs and poop. That leads me to another Macklemore song about red rum and Coke or something like that. I forgot what it was. It'll come to me a little bit. But no, that story is when I was in the hospital and they were going to shock my heart back into rhythm. I knew that I was leaving Indiana. I was getting out of that Rob Dickens situation, and I was getting my own fucking place. I was not going back to Madison, Indiana. So I took $7,500 with me so that I could go to an apartment and just walk in with cash, because cash talks. And I was going to negotiate my own deal. And because that was back when rent was $400 a month, $400 to $500 a month for a lot of places. Right. And I figured if I had $7,000, I could just pay 6 months in advance or something, or a year in advance if necessary, and get me a hell of a deal and not go through a bunch of shit and just say, here, I got $7,500. Put me in for 14 months. We got a deal. You want the $7,500, especially if you're dealing with individuals who are renting places. Maybe not so much a complex, but when there's somebody that's got a house for rent that's been sitting empty for 4 months. What, do you want it set empty for four months? I got $7,500 here. How's that strike you? And so that was my thought plan. So I take the $7,500 with me so I don't have to go back to Dickens' place. I've already lined up people to get my shit moved out of there. And so I got a money bag. It's a bank money bag. I got 3 or 4 of them around here. And I'm keeping it stuffed under me my entire stay in the hospital. So they wheeled me from my bed to go down to shock my heart back into rhythm. And they said, sir, do you have anything on you? I said, like what? And they said, do you have any belongings, any watches, jewelry, you got anything on you? Because when we shock you, you can't have none of that stuff touching. You can't have anything metal. I said, oh, shit. And they said, I said, what? I said, well, I don't have any jewelry. I said, but I got a money bag laying under me, and it's got a metal zipper on. Oh, my God. If we'd have shocked you with that on there, it may not have been good. Sir, we're going to need that bag. He said, how much money's in there? I said
$10,000.
I said, do I really need to divulge that? He said, well, we're gonna count it in front of you, but I said, there's roughly $7,500. So why have you got seven? It's a long story, but I need it. He's okay. He says, is it okay that we take that bag and we put that in a locker and maybe say, and when we get ready to check out, we'll give you your money back to you then? I said, promise? Doctor says, yeah. So he takes it out, and he's got all the so other doctors are coming around. Apparently, no other patients ever drugged 70, other than maybe a shot drug dealer or something. He's sitting here, and they're all gathered around, and he's really got $7,500 in that bag. And this is 2012, maybe, around 2012, I guess, give or take. And so that's a little bit more money then than it is now. And they're just freaking out that I've got $7,500 in a money bag, where a lot of people would just have a checking account. Well, I had a checking account, but I also wanted to get a deal. And back then, and me and Jimmy used to walk in with cash bags all the time when we bought our audio video equipment. So, and then we have a donation that came in. I'll announce here in a minute. We got a nice challenge that came in. So, so they take that. They said, if we just shocked you and that metal zipper was touching your back, they said, this may not have gone well. So I want you to know, during the electroshock, to shock my heart back into rhythm, I pop up out of the bed and staring the doctor right in the eye. And he says, you felt that? I said, yeah. And I said, no, I ain't got no money bag. I remember the afternoon. I said, I ain't got no money bag on me. I said, God damn. He said, well, how many of those did you feel? I said, well, that one. I said, how many did you do? He said, well, that was the fourth one. He said, it was the fourth one. I said, so that's good for 3, huh? He says, yeah, the fourth one kind of woke you up. He said, I guess we didn't put you under enough. I said, we got to go. No, we're good. He said, we got you. So they shocked me back to life on the fourth one, apparently. But just leaned straight up out of that bed. But that was one of the stories. And then I get home, and they had some celebratory cake there that the dogs ate, and they just shit it. Oh, and also, and it's funny you mentioned that. Maya told the story. She says that when I got home, I was missing some money at home. This was the second trip to the hospital. And I called Maya and Chris up. I said, the dogs just ate 1,004 20s. They just, the dog. I said, the dogs apparently have eaten 1,004 20s. And they said, what? And well, how could that possibly be? And so they're picturing that the dogs ate 1,004 $20 bills. And what I was saying, that I was missing $1,000 in 4 20s is what I was trying to relay to them. And I was missing $1,000 in 4 20s. So I'm looking around in the laundry room, and I find the $1,000 wedged behind the door where their doggy bowl is. The 4 20s never turned up. And I said, those little fuckers, I said, they took the $100 bills and stashed them away for hard times in case I didn't come back home. And apparently went out and spent the 420 somewhere here locally.
Yeah. They probably were out raising money.
Trying to help me, maybe. Trying to help me. So Devin, I don't remember seeing you in here before, but glad you enjoyed the story, and hopefully this has been more entertaining than what SmackDown has been so far. Let me check the donations. Oh, well, no, before I get to the donations, hang in there, donor, because we did have a nice challenge come in. Hey, Kenny, this is from Charlie Baker. Hey, Kenny, quick question. I'm working with a local wrestling promotion. Do you have any YouTube videos I can watch to kind of get the feel, of a manager? I have followed you from your OVW days. Just figured I would ask. Sorry to bother you. And then I gave him a thumbs up because I was having trouble getting my computer working. I had to reset it and everything. He says, or any tips? I'm just trying to become a good manager. Don't watch me. I said I'm having issues with my computer. I'll get with you after the show. Okay, thanks. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much. And I don't know if Charlie's watching this show or not. Charlie, I'm going to help you out right here on the show. It is awfully hard to teach somebody how to be a good wrestling manager, not only just by calling somebody and asking them, but on YouTube videos. That is a very difficult, especially managing. It's just one of those things where you have to use your natural personality, your natural knowledge of wrestling, know when to do shit, know when not to do shit. A lot of that is on the job training. And even I, when I thought I knew everything, still had a lot to learn when I got in through watching thousands of hours of pro wrestling on television, watching the best do it, learning from my idol, Jerry the King Lawler. And I still didn't know as much as I thought I knew. I had the natural speaking ability. I had all that. I had pretty good timing, but there's still a lot of shit that you need to know and that you're only going to gain through experience. But the one thing is, one thing that helps and that really helped me is an overwhelming amount of confidence. And if you don't have the confidence that are Jimmy Cornette, eventually he started out a little slow if you go back and watch his old stuff. But as he developed the confidence, that's why he got so good at what he does. Jimmy Hart started out a little slow, but eventually gained a shitload of confidence. Downtown Bruno, to me, had the least ability of all of us, but eventually found his niche and got good at what he did. He found a little saying the Fort Duquesne Boulevard shit. He found a little niche. Paul Heyman. If you go back and watch his original shit, it's nothing like what he does now.
Dangerously stuff.
Paulie Dangerously and Paul Heyman are basically two different managers. He almost reinvented himself.
Even someone like Ronnie Gossett, who was a one-trick pony, right? And that was Ronnie Gossett was the fat, obnoxious guy. That's all he was ever.
Lawler called him the human waterbed, and thank God Lawler never ever called me that. So I had that going for me.
Yeah.
But I probably weighed. I guarantee you, I weighed more than Ronnie P. Gossett. But Ronnie, whatever he weighed, 400, 450, whatever, he looked like he weighed about 800 pounds.
Well, he carried it a lot of it in his face, and that made it.
Face and stomach. It was all there. It was all there.
But you look at guys like, of course, I mean, no one's as good as Bobby Heenan. You'll never be close to Bobby Heenan.
The greatest honor I've ever had. The greatest honor I've ever had was having him come down here to pass the torch to me. And he never knew how thrilled I was to do that because for the sake of television, you had to act like you weren't. And when I went and visited him at Cornette's house, it was me and Chris just kind of picking his brain a little bit. And we were just old buddies, talking shit. I never really got a chance to explain to him just how much he meant to me from watching a guy be a fucking great manager. And he could take bumps. I could never, ever fucking take it.
Bobby
was actually a damn good worker. Yeah.
Yeah. You look at guys like, if you go back in the day when managers were more prevalent, and you look at Skandar Akbar, and you look at Gary Hart, and you look at
Akbar, I never cared for, and I saw quite a bit of him. I never cared for him, but he was more of a Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana guy.
Texas, Louisiana guy.
So I might not have saw all of his best work, but he got a lot of heat. I mean, everybody hated him.
I know a lot of people absolutely were ecstatic about Oliver Humperdinck. I never saw much in Oliver Humperdinck, but I didn't watch a lot of his stuff. I saw, of course, Freddie Blassie and Lou Albano and the Grand Wizard back in the WWF days.
You know what my pick was about Freddie Blassie? Too much repetitiveness.
It was always the same pencil neck geek.
Too much repetitiveness. But once again, for that market, it worked for that market, and he had a shitload of heat. There was a little bit of talk, but Jimmy squashed that almost immediately because when he came here and I was fired from the broadcast booth and forced to come back as an independent manager, basically independent of OVW. But if you want to use my talent, you got to go through me. That was the story that we used for the TV show. And he explained to me and I was cool with it because I don't like traveling, never did. I didn't like driving to the towns. And you got to remember, Kentucky is the only state in the continental U.S. that borders 7 states. There's no other state in the country that does that. So we have an easy 8-state market to work in, Kentucky and the 7 states we border. We were on television in every one of those states. So we were almost like a regional big deal around here because not only were we on all over Kentucky, were on in our 7 bordering states. Can I name them? Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, Tennessee, Missouri. I'm leaving one out. Missouri, Illinois. Yeah. Not much of Illinois, but there's a little bit of it there. So we were on television in all 7 states. So anywhere in that 8-state region, there's only 48 connecting, and we're on TV in 8 of them. And then of course the YouTube videos start getting big, and then so now there's people can either watch us on YouTube or the 8 regional stations that we're on. No, it was actually more than that, because in Kentucky we were on in Paducah, Bowling Green, Lexington, Louisville. Then of course we're on in Cincinnati, right across the river. And so yeah, we're on 4 stations just in Kentucky alone. So, but he explained to me, he says, Kenny, you're here, you're going to be the heat that stays with the company. Because if you go up, and then we're always developing new managers and whatever, he says the heat is never going to stay here. We need a stable that is going to be the constant heat. And that way, no matter who comes or goes, the heat's with you. And if they're with you, there's the heat. And
get transferred automatically. Right.
And he says, you're so good with sales, you're going to make good money here. He says, hell, you're making good money before I got here. He says, now that we're here and we got the WWE brand attached to us, your money's going to get better. And he finally figured up, he says, Kenny, you're here in Louisville. You almost never have to work. You only have to do TV and maybe pick a town or 2 and do Six Flags. He says, you have to work 2 or 3 days a week. You're making, when you count in all the sales marketing money you get, all the free shit you get, you haven't had to pay rent in 7 fucking years. You're making about $150,000 a year, and you don't have to travel. He says, there's about half the guys on the fucking roster that would trade a spot with you. And I think I sent Bob a clip today where they're talking about what the referees were getting, what Maven was getting. Maven's downside guarantee was $150,000. Had to travel his ass off. The referees have to be on the ring crew and
that's all expenses that they pay out of their own pocket.
And they have to pay all their expenses. Well, yeah, and we did too. We pay our hotel, our gas, when we do these trips.
That's why they would have
6 wrestlers in a car.
6 wrestlers in a car, and 4 of them, and at least 4 in every hotel room. And
yeah, and I didn't do a lot of the when I stayed in a hotel room, it was either me and Chris, me and Jimmy, or me. I wasn't much on sharing rooms, and I'd get a red roof in. I'd pay my $25. I did not like sharing my space. I got my own sleeping habits.
Well, you never know how many rats were going to be showing up in the room like that either.
I knew how many. The 6 I called and gave them what times to be there. That's what time it was. So yeah, you got a lot for your $5 there. But no, so they're the main one. What was his name? Garza, something like that. One of the writers helped me out. Started with a G. Oh. He really he's the one that really loved the briefcase idea, and he's the one that kind of brought the money to the bank briefcase. God, he's one of the writers, Garza. Shit, I can't think of his name right now. It wasn't that. It wasn't Freddie. It was not Freddie Prinze Jr. But he would come down to OVW all the time, and he was always hyping it up, wanting to bring me up. I said, Jimmy doesn't seem to be too much on that. And I said, and my health was getting worse at that time too. And even when I was in good health, I didn't want to do that.
Brian Gerwitz. Is that who you're talking about?
Nope, wasn't him. David Ghana, I don't know. Let's see here. When did you realize you had good enough mouthpiece for wrestling? When I was 16. When I was 16 doing the Wacky Talk show in Louisville. And I was so hated on that show because I would call in late night and act like a bad guy and go against what other people were saying on the Wacky Talk show. Whatever they were talking about, I would take the other side of it, whether I agreed with them or not. And I wanted to be the bad guy of the Wacky Talk show. When I called in, I went, oh God, that fucking Kenny from LaGrange. And that's who I was. Kenny from LaGrange, because you didn't really give last names or anything then. And I was so good that 3 of the disc jockeys, including Cowdy Calhoun, God, we talked about, there was a blind disc jockey, Ed Phillips, who was a blind disc jockey there that came out to see me. Cowdy Calhoun, Johnny Randolph, who was the ring announcer for the Louisville Gardens. Many of them would come out to see me. and to talk to me about what to do to enhance my character on the Wacky Talk Show. That you're so good, a lot of people tune in to hear you, and you're not even a disc jockey. You're 16, you're 17, and Cornette never did any of those shows with me. That was just me doing those. So that was when I knew I had the skills to talk on television and or radio. It was at age 16. And then, but never got my first opportunity to talk on television until Nick Goulas hired me at the age of 27 in Nashville, Tennessee, at a service merchant.
Well, and you know that first Nick Goulas experience was so good. In fact, let's relive.
Oh, God, here we go.
Welcome, wrestling fans, to WOW, World Organization Wrestling. My name's Ken Bolin, and I'm here with the Dean of Promoters, Nick Goulas, and his son, George Goulas. Nick, I'm sure the fans would like to know, you've been in semi-retirement now for the last 5 years. I'm sure they'd like to know what you've been doing and what you got planned for the future.
Well, I've been doing a lot of different things, Ken. I've been going here and there, watching matches in different cities. And in the last 6 or 8 months, I've been trying to get myself back to doing wrestling again. I've been asked by many, many people, when am I coming back to promoting wrestling? So after 45 years, it's hard to get out and quit. So I decided to come back, and I'm starting back wrestling right in this area real soon. And I'm glad to be on this station.
Well, you've brought a lot of talent from the old days that are real successful into business now, and I understand you plan on bringing a lot of new talent in. One of those talents you've got sitting there, your son George, right there. George, what have you been doing?
Well, Ken, I've been wrestling 3 or 4 or 5 times a month, but now I'll be
managed to call George Goulas a talent without using air quotes. That was pretty amazing.
I referee high school basketball. Besides that, I play basketball 3 times a week. And, you know, not being my father, Nick Goulas, I like to mention on the other side of the ledger that Nick Goulas' name to pro wrestling has been around for a lot of years. It's like Babe Ruth is to baseball, Larry Bird is to basketball, and Bear Bryant is the football. And when you mention pro wrestling in this area, you think of Nick Goulas. And that's why I'm glad he's coming back. I'm glad to wrestle again full-time for him. And the talent he's been in contact with throughout the country the past several months, you're going to be surprised at the talent he's going to bring in here, because he's talked to the best, and that's all he wants to bring in, the best, for WOW, World Organization Wrestling.
Nick, how long do you plan to stay in the area this time?
I'm going to stay indefinitely, Ken. As long as God lets me stay and live, I'm going to be here. And I hope to, you know, and like I said, I've started some of the greatest in the world in wrestling. Today, all over the country, wrestlers know Nick Goulas started a lot of them, and some of the biggest names, and we intend to start some more big names in wrestling. I'm not going to stop now at my age, regardless of that. But regardless of what goes on in wrestling, Nick Goulas will be here, I hope, for some time to come.
George, do you plan on doing a single wrestling tag team? Where do you seem to be looking towards now?
Probably single. In the past, I like to wrestle tag, but you know what they was saying? If you wrestle a tag match, you get beat, you always blame your opponent for losing.
Right.
So if I'm going to get beat, I'd rather get beat and say I got beat myself. But I'll probably wrestle both, single and tag matches. And of course, when you wrestle either one, you're in there in a tough time in that squared circle. It's not an easy task to go in there and wrestle, no matter who you wrestle. You can't cut anybody short, because they're in there to beat you too. And that's why I work out constantly and stay in good shape, because one thing about pro wrestling, you can't just sit there and say I'm going to win. You got to win in the ring.
Thank you, and we will be back next time on WOW, WOW, World Organization Wrestling.
Okay, so the preface. Hang on. So to preface that, I hated that because it wasn't as crisp and sharp as I wanted it to be. Nick and George both says, no, that's as good as we can do. We're keeping it. They thought they did a great job. And you can badmouth George Goulas all you want. He said something that was very accurate there. Whenever you lose, you have a tendency to blame your opponents.
Yeah. The one thing I wish StreamYard would give us would be the ability to stop a tape like that and pause it and make a comment.
Continue. When I logged on today, it said we had 50 improvements that I didn't have time to look at. Did you look at them?
None of which are any good. No, I don't. I did not.
I don't doubt that. They never are. Was Nick Goulas a Cajun? He sounds like it. I think Nick, if I remember, I think Nick was born in Nashville. Nick, I'm sorry, George. Nick was from Birmingham, Alabama. So that's why he sounds like a Cajun. My first ever pro wrestling match was in Birmingham, Alabama. I booked the town for him. I booked his town. The first town I ever booked, first promotion I was ever involved in, and the first show I ever did, I was ring announcer. I started out as the bell keeper. Then I was asked to be the ring announcer. Then I was asked to manage Tojo Yamamoto against Gypsy Joe at the end of the night. But Goulas had every confidence in the world in me because I got him the town, I got him the building. We had a good turnout. I think God had 600 people in there that night, which he told me if anything over 300, he's going to be thrilled. And we had about 600 in there.
Of course, 580 of them came in through the back door.
Through the back door when it was time to get paid. And so I knew so little about the wrestling business then. I knew they were paying me $75 for the show. My first ever fucking show. And plus I got a bonus, for booking the town, getting the building and all that. So I'd already made some good money. But you get paid $75 for performing on the show. And so I was the ring announcer, I was a timekeeper, and I also managed 75, so 225. Mr. Goulas kept saying he's going to settle up with me after the show. We ran out of cash here, Mr. Bolin. You come to my home, we'll get you settled up. So I kept going to Nick's home, and Nick conveniently wasn't there. So George answers the door in his robe. George Goulas answers the door. So Dad's not here, Kenny. I said, yeah, where is he? I don't know, Kenny. He'll be. I said, I keep driving over here because I didn't have a cell phone then. I don't know anybody that did. And might not have had him yet. This is 1997. And 87. And I said, George, I said, your dad just walked behind you in a bathrobe. Oh, really? Well, he must have just come in a bathrobe. I said, would you get your dad for me? So he goes and gets him, and he comes back, and he gets his wallet, and he counts me out $75. I said, 75? I said, I worked three jobs. Well, no, Kenny, regardless how many things you do on the show there, you just get the one pay. So I'm driving over here for $75, 3 or 4. I thought I was getting $225. So that's when I found out you didn't get multiple pay for multiple tasks on the show. No. So let's get these donations in here real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the full screen for the donations. So
all right. TC from the NC, the first donation of the night that came in at 10:07 p.m. And TC with a $10 donation. Thank you. And he was the first donation the other night as well. The second donation of the night, this is a nice one. A $50 challenge from Randy the Macho Man Satterley. Once again, this is a similar one that he did the other night. King, if you can get 50 from the rest of the room, I'll donate 50. Okay, fair enough. So we got 10 from TC. And then Cameron, who asked the question in here about Nick Goulas and Izzy Cajun and all that. No, he's Birminghamian. And he has donated 20. So other than the pledge that Randy has done, we have 30 in the house. So if we can just get 20 more, then Randy will do 50. So $20 shy. I'm sorry, we also got the $5 donation in here too. So we're $15 shy of being able to get the $50 pledge from Randy the Macho Man Satterley, which he did the same thing on Christmas Eve too. And it ended up leading to a $200 night. I'd really like to make about 120 in here tonight. We got a request to fix a roof over the bathroom, comfort room as they call it there. She needs a tarp. That'll probably be about $30. We got a rice request, about $30 to $40. We got an electric bill request of about $30, $35, and then another rice request. So if we could do 120 to 150 tonight, that would take care of all the requests that we've got coming in. And so right now we have 30, a pledge of Randy of 50. If we can get 20 more, technically 15, but that $5 that came in here, we do not get till January 21st. Woo! So yeah, got all that out there. And so thank you for the donations that have come in so far. If there's any of you here watching for the first time that have never donated and you'd like to help us out, $5 and $10, it all goes a long way if a lot of people do it. So, and thank you, Cameron, for your donation. And Cameron had that $100 challenge that he did a couple of weeks ago that really helped us out a lot too. So thank you, Cameron. We appreciate it. Matter of fact, I think Cameron's back over here with me on the 5th of January. We're gonna watch a little Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna order out some food. And he came over with me the other night. Cameron and I got $100 worth of Popeye's fried chicken for $27. $100 worth of chicken through
Good
some
deal.
$25 bonus that we had through Instacart. Buy one, get one freeze. And by the time it all came up, the bill was $103 and we paid $27. That included the tip. Didn't tip. No, we did. We did tip. So yeah, that was a hell of a deal. That was done through Instacart and Uber Eats, and apparently some New Year's thing they were doing. And so that was very nice. And other than that, I have not heard from Nicole in quite some time. I wonder if Nicole has gone the way of Good Chris. Now, let me give you a story on Good Chris. This one's baffling me. We hadn't heard from him in like 6 months, since the summertime. And he was normally good for about $75 a month. Always, and just, a lot of times you just mention his name, and then all of a sudden the donation would be there. And it was always about once a month, middle of the month, and he was always good for 50 to 75, and a lot of 75s. And was always a class act. Never had any issues with just, he would pop in here as CC sometimes, and I know his real name, but I won't reveal it. And but here's what baffles me. So we don't hear from him for months. So I finally write him, man, are you okay? If times are tough, don't worry about donating. We just want to know that you're okay. So I write him 2, 3, 4 messages and never hear from him. So finally I said, well, maybe he's not getting these messages. So I send a $1 request from him to make sure he sees it, so that he will almost have to respond to it if he's alive. Because I'm wondering if he's even alive. Why would he just fade away like that? I'm pretty sure politically we line up. I can't imagine I'd have said anything on here that would have aggravated him too bad. So I sent him a $1 request. The only thing I got back was a decline of the $1, and then I'm blocked from sending him any messages. Something's weird, because Bob's, you had made a suggestion too. I forgot what it was.
Oh, it was like, as part of the request to say, look, did we do something to offend you? Was there?
Yeah, that was in there many times on all the other messages I'd sent him. So what happened there? I have no idea. So what happened to Good Chris? And Nicole, I haven't heard from in a while, and she's read some of my messages, and she donated about a month ago, but she hasn't responded to me on some of the messages. She's reading them. So Nicole, if you're out there and I've angered you in some way, please let me know. I don't know what I would have done other than being me, but we haven't heard from Nicole in a little while either. Jazzy Jana says she's still trying to recover from some financial shit. So we may hear from her eventually, but Jazzy's always good. And I think everything's fine. Maybe just Nicole got stretched out for the holidays or something. I don't know. And but all you got to do is say so. I mean, I totally understand that shit. So
maybe she got stretchered out. That was
well, she read the messages. Somebody did. So that's where we stand. $20 from Killer Cameron. A $50 pledge from Randy the Macho Man. Oh, what the fuck? Hang on here. I think I just saw something that looked kind of wild. Okay, hang on here. Okay. All right. Okay. This is wild. Okay. So Bob, how much do we have in donations so far?
We have $35 in donations and
$50 pledge from the Macho Man, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can count that 50 now. But here is the weird challenge on top of that. So that puts us to 85. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we got 85 in the house right now. So Killer Cameron, he says, I will top that challenge. He says, so go ahead and count Randy's. He says, because I got that covered. He says, but what I'm going to do is I will pledge $150 if you can raise 150 total in the room, counting Randy's money. So that's what just came through. That's from Killer Cameron. He says, that should help you out just a smidge. Yeah. That was.
So we've got not counting Cameron's 20, right, that he gave. So if Cameron's now got a $150 challenge, we've got 65 from TCNC, Macho Saturday, and the $5 in from YouTube. So we've got 65 in. We need an additional $85.
An
to
additional
make Cameron
85.
pay out.
Yeah, so if we get an additional $85, and I'll hang around another 35 minutes to do that.
Take Cameron's money. We still have to
Take Cameron's money, exactly. So if we can collect another 85, and you know what? I'm pretty sure me, Bob, and Coltrane's on a date, and he'd get in trouble if he's here tonight. I'll as you all know, Bob and I normally put in quite a bit of our own money throughout time. My rent was due today, so it's a little thin over here, but I'll put 20 towards that. So where's that put us? We need
puts us at
65 more.
30, right? Yeah, so we're 65 short now.
65 short. So I'll put 20 towards that. So we're 65 shy of what we need, and rent was due today, and no assistance this month. Well, thank you, Cameron. That was very sweet of you to do that. Cameron must have got that big bonus check down there at the shipping store.
UPS place.
Yeah, and I think Cameron feels guilty for all the chicken sandwiches he rolled out here.
I think it's probably because he's one of those brown shirts, and he keeps thinking, "Oh no, it's the Nazi brown shirts. I need to undo my Nazi influence."
Was Nick who was Cajun? I've never heard that, but hey, Bobby was from Huntsville, Alabama. Nick was from Birmingham. I think George was born in Nashville, but maybe he was born in. Hey, we'll see. But this will be a test of the thing. Computer, Where was wrestler George Gulas born?
George Raymond Wagner, known as Gorgeous George.
Not the one.
Was born in Nebraska.
No, that's not the one.
George Gulas was born in Nashville, Tennessee, according
to the Macho Man.
The Wikipedia.
Where was he born in Nashville? So I didn't know. I know he lived there most of his life.
You know, I think George
he still lives there.
He should come up and be on the show and tell us about how he's going to blame his opponents whenever he loses. George.
I wonder if I could get him on the show. I bet he'd do it. Don't know why he wouldn't.
Sure he will. Yeah.
Don't know why he wouldn't. We're gonna have to have Macho Man on the show here sometime too. He's been awfully good to us here. Macho Man, when do you want to come on and do the show with us? And Killer Cameron's going to be doing a show with us here real soon. And anybody that really helps us keep these people fed, man. There's going to be some people getting a tarp tonight that did not know they were getting one. They asked me for one, but I didn't give them an answer. I said we got to see how the show goes. And we're going to be feeding some Filipinos as we speak. Reluctantly, my son is going to drop in on as many of my Filipino friends as I can that are within distance for him to get to, and surprise them and take them out for a nice dinner. And we talked about that last night.
Do it all at once. Just get them all together.
Well, he ain't gonna be doing that. He ain't gonna be doing that. But and some of them just live way too far away to be able to do that with. But we found out that some of them are not all that far away there in the Metro Manila area. So we got about 4 or 5 of them that we've made arrangements. A couple of them know, and there's about 3 of them don't know, to where we're just going to send them a text message, tell them where to meet, and get them a nice dinner at a place they ordinarily wouldn't get to eat.
Jollibee's at 6 p.m. or else.
Actually, it's going to be even better than Jollibee's. This place is a little more expensive than that, but still not bad. Their prices at the their food prices are not too bad in a lot of those places there compared to what we do here. I was told that the best Kentucky Fried Chicken you will ever eat will be a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Bangkok, because they don't use all the preservatives and all the horrible shit that we use here in America to do food. And they say, if you want great food, just go to any McDonald's, especially Kentucky Fried Chicken. And if it's an American restaurant and it's in Bangkok, it's going to be pretty damn good, because they don't have all the processed bullshit that we have here. Manila, much the same way. Their food is normally much better. I hear the KFC is not as good as the one is in Bangkok, but still not too bad. Let's see here. Well, thank you, Randy. That's very sweet. And Randy's already sent his other 25. So where's that put us?
All right, we are short $40.
$40. Okay. All right. So we're $40 shy to take Cameron's money. Cameron, are you still with us? Well, if we send you a join link, do you want to pop in tonight, Randy, or you want to come on another show? Depends what you're doing. Because Randy's a big wrestling fan. He might be watching SmackDown. We might be background noise for shitty wrestling. I don't know.
So if you were to, I know you didn't watch a lot of wrestling in 2025, Kenny, but if
we
you
haven't talked a lot about my Miami Hurricanes yet tonight.
No, we haven't talked to any about college football tonight.
That was kind of the idea of the show, wasn't it? Hang on, well, there's 10 more.
Difficult women to work with in OVW. Who were the easiest to work with?
Well, the ones that let me have the most sex with them were that'd be a Cornette story. The ones I made the maddest.
Jumbo Saruta.
Well, no, it ain't the wrestling we grew up on. There's no. I thought you did, Randy. I didn't know. I assumed you still watch the product some. I can talk college. Oh, I bet you can't. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. No, I know why you can't. Because your football coach got fired. Randy going to take his money back. Your football coach got fired, son. You know why? Because he is that an L? Yeah, he Randy's a big UK fan. Randy is not very happy with the Louisville product right now because that basketball team whipped up on those Wildcats like they were redheaded stepchildren. And then we went down there and we took care of that football team not too long after that, beat them by about 30 points. So I don't know. You might talk some college football, but if you want to talk football, I wouldn't be bringing the name Kentucky. Do y'all have a new coach yet? Have y'all landed a coach?
Lane Kiffin.
Is Nick Saban coming to Kentucky?
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's been stopping for an hour.
Is Lane Kiffin the most hated fucking coach in all of college sports? Oh, my God. But basically, Ole Miss apparently put the word out because he said he was coming to the game with who'd they play? Who did Ole Miss? Alabama. And he said he was coming to the game, and I think the word was put out. No, you're not. What's Cameron got here? You have also apparently picked the interest of my dog.
The interest of my dog. Who came all the way from the other end of the house to sit here beside me and listen to your dog.
I didn't know you still had a dog. I knew y'all had the
Piper of dogs.
Well, I am a bit of the Pied Piper of dogs. There's no doubt about that. Man, if I had my way, there'd probably be 30 dogs around here somewhere. I mean, I absolutely love dogs. Meow snuck outside today, colder and shit. So the last time she was outside, it was 73 degrees. So it ain't 73 around here, and it ain't been for a while. So it's about 28 this morning. She darts out the door because she sees bright sunshine. She's sitting in the window like, God damn, let me out. Look at that weather out there. And, of course, I don't let her out because it's fucking cold. And then she darts outside and I was like, okay, dumbass, you're out there till dark. So it gets to be dark and I'm hearing her out on the porch. The cat will not walk through the door she goes out. She will not walk through the front door. She has to have the window cracked, and she comes through when she feels it's safe, and two dogs won't be pouncing on her when she goes, because they get mad at her for doing what I don't want her to do. So, yeah, she went outside, and she's meowing her ass off when it got dark because it's cold. So when I laid down for my 1 hour nap, I got my cat sleeping on my right arm and my shoulder. Scooby's cuddled into my stomach, and Two Cow is laying very as close as he can get. So I'm snuggled in my animals. And I didn't really have the intentions of sleeping for an hour, but it worked out that way. I woke up at 9:29. My alarm was set for 9:30. Let's see. Stein is, well, you got to tell me who that is. I don't know who. Bob, you know who's Stein? Maybe he can talk better college. Maybe he can talk better college shit than me because I don't know who that is.
It's Rick Stein. It's Rick Steiner, Scott Stein's brother.
Scott Steiner is coaching. No, that might sell some tickets.
Shih Tzus act like they're royalty and give bombastic side eyes.
I did pay her electric bill the other day, and we helped her get some groceries the other day. And I knew Bob probably figured we did okay on the Christmas Eve show because we had like 7 or 8 donations go out right after the show. And Bob went, well, I guess they got some donations, but we'd also had a few go out before the show too. Let's see here. I saw something. Stein is the new coach. I don't know who that is. You know anything?
No idea.
Shih Tzus act
Shih
like they are
Tzus.
royalty. Give bombastic side eyes when they're annoyed. I know a few people that have had those. I've never had one of those. I'm trying to get as caught up on as many questions as I can. So Randy, did you want to come in for a little bit tonight, or you want to just do another show with us when we're going to have a full show? We'll be here. I think I promised another. How much more we got to raise, Bob? How short are we?
$40.
$40 short. Okay. So yeah, if we raise another 40, we get 150 from Cameron. And Cameron keeps his word. He's done this shit before, and he always honors it. So I'm not worried about Cameron. Cameron, that's very nice of you to do that, because he did $100 challenge not long ago. And also the shout out to Cameron. He's the one that come over here, got me to the eye doctor, got me out of the house for the first time since my son left the country, took me to do my healthy grocery shopping. Now, to my defense, and to brag about how good I was to Cameron, I did get him $8 worth of macaroni salad with my healthy food card. That's almost as good as a $150 donation. And on top of that, I paid for all but the $5 of the $7 tip that went to the driver for the chicken. So that was something. So basically, I bought Cameron $100.
Now, you did give him like expired movie coupons as the $7, but
yeah, well, it's up to you to make the expired coupons work.
that's right.
And I think Cameron and I are going to be going to Blaze Pizza again here real soon.
If you knew what you were doing, if you could work, Shelton, you would have made those work.
Exactly, Shelton Benjamin. If you could work, he still bitches about those expired movie tickets to this day. Unbelievable. Okay, here we go. He's the offensive coordinator. Oh, okay. Well, if he's got Oregon blood in him, he might be pretty good. So wait a minute. So Oregon still has their head coach, right? I think
They do. Yeah.
so. He's the offensive coordinator. Well, that would be a pretty important guy. And he played at U of L. God damn. Well, Macho Man, you scooped me. I did not know any of that. So how does Kentucky feel about having a U of L guy as their head coach? Well, apparently y'all don't mind, because y'all got Rick Pitino, that legendary University of Louisville. Oh, that's right. He was a Kentucky first, wasn't he? And then we stole him from you because he wanted to work for a real university that's never had the death penalty. Randy going, this shit's getting ugly now. There ain't no need for all this. I'll have you know that chicken made it all the way halfway home then. Yeah. Did you really eat half of that sandwich on the way home? So he had two sandwiches here.
I thought it would make that to the car, maybe, as he's like on the way to the car.
Maybe to the car.
He's got to stop and take a lunch break or something.
I thought I saw him eating out my window on the way home. I really did. I don't think it. I think he's lying. I don't think it made it to the car, because I asked him if it was going to go to his mother. He says, "No, I'm going to take him to work with me tomorrow." I said, "But your mother would probably like to have a spicy chicken sandwich." No, I'm going to take him to work with me tomorrow. So I think that's how that went. Stein's dad played for UK. Stein grew up a UK fan, but what you're telling me is that he wasn't good enough to play at UK, but Louisville found a job for him. Okay. I saved the packages so Mom could smell the nice aroma of spicy chicken. Well, that was nice of you. I had my last chicken sandwich last night, Cameron. And when we got those chicken sandwiches, I had my ghost pepper last night during the Ole Miss Alabama game. What, Bob? How many hours did it take to play those last 30?
Well, the last 10 seconds of the Georgia game, I thought was gonna.
Oh, it was a Georgia game, yeah.
I thought it was going to take all week because.
And then we had the ball. No, it wasn't the last 1 second.
The last 1 second, yeah. So hit the pylon. Put it. Can you imagine the guys that we pushed the States out onto the field. 1 second to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Push the stage back off the field.
Yeah.
Onside kick. Push the stage onto the field.
But you know what? This is where I didn't know something about college football. I didn't know that if the offensive team recovered without the ball being touched by the defensive team, the clock doesn't move. I didn't know that.
Because the player was down on the ground. Because in college football, as soon as you're down, the play's over.
You're down. You're down. Yeah.
If he had picked it up and run with it, the clock would have run. But
he did
because
exactly the right thing.
fell on it down, no
You
time
don't
ran
know,
off.
you know, I'm not a Georgia fan.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't
but
know
I
how
was
hard.
cheering. I was like, "Come on, Georgia, throw a touchdown pass."
You don't know
Yes.
how hard I was rooting for Georgia, even though Miami's got to be the one to play them. And I thought I wanted Ole Miss. Maybe I don't. That fucking quarterback was. Can he throw that many more miracles in another game? He was the luckiest
And they use them
motherfucker on
all
planet
up,
Earth.
right?
Yeah, so see, we're finally talking some college ball. I knew we'd get to it.
Yeah, well, I'm like watching, and I really follow a lot of football. I was out all day long and didn't get a chance to watch.
Yeah,
any
you
of the
got in.
games.
You got in late. You got in right at the end of that, didn't you?
And then saw that, the Tech got shut out. I'm like, yeah, nice of you to show up,
Wow,
guys.
wow, yeah, that one blew me away too.
And then
And Tech played Oregon, correct?
Yes, yeah. And then the other game wasn't all that competitive either. I mean, Indiana just destroyed Alabama.
34
38
or
to 3.
38
38
God
to 3.
damn. And nobody had that. And but yeah, I was saying that if I had took $70,000 worth of investment money and put it on Miami, I thought that if you bet 70,000, you win 70,000. No. If you bet 70,000 on the Canes, you win 210,000 and keep your 70. So you're going to win from a $70,000 investment to 281,000 off one fucking bet. But if you lose,
you're out 70 grand.
You're out 70 grand. So the same thing with the Indiana game. And as Bobby pointed out, if you'd have bet on them early in the season, it paid 4.5 times the value of the bet.
No, it paid 45 times the amount of the bet.
Oh, 45 times.
Yeah,
oh my
plus
God.
4,500. Yeah. So
if you bet 1,000, you win 45,000.
Yes.
Well, I probably should have done that. Sort of a shot. God.
Well,
damn.
if I went back and looked and saw what was the question? Oh, about the women. We did not answer the question. You're right. You're
all
right.
Right. Well, you're right. When you're right, you're right. Of course, you could have donated another 38.
Yeah.
You could have donated another $38, and we've been all over it.
And then we'd have been mad that you donated all that much money here, so they just get it directly.
We would have been.
Right, women in OVW, who was the easiest to work with, and who was the most difficult to work with?
The easiest to work with would have been Mickey James, without a doubt. Mickey was always a piece of cake to work with. I worked with her on both DCW shows and OVW shows. And I was the commissioner of DCW, believe it or not, as a babyface and also doing babyface announcing. The job I hated the worst I ever had was being a babyface commissioner and an announcer for the developmental television show of the developmental show of the WWE is what DCW was. Yes. DCW was to give Danny an opportunity to bilk more people for money other than the WWE developmental roster. So this was the roster to try. Yeah, me as a babyface for a period of time. But as Danny called it, you're a neutral commissioner, neutral announcer. He didn't want to call it babyface because the next night I went back to being the heel announcer of OVW, and I'm a babyface announcer at DCW the previous night.
You were just being kind over there at DCW.
It was what's that?
You were just being kind.
Yeah. So the most
kinder, gentler Kenny Bolin.
The most difficult to work with, and none of them were, as a rule, were considered difficult because everybody at OVW knew to do what the fuck you were told. You know, Danny and Jimmy are calling the shots. I never considered myself a shot caller. I mean, I was called office, and the people were told not to put their fucking hands on me, like Brock Lesnar. But I never
always after the fact. It was always after the fact, though. That was the problem.
Yeah, it was always after the fact. But no, I was never considered a shot caller, but people knew that if they wanted to get something over, well, let's run it by Kenny. And if Kenny's got our back, he will sell it to Danny and Jimmy. And so the boys knew how to work the angles. Well, let's run it by Kenny. And then if Kenny likes it, Kenny will sell it to Danny and Jimmy. And because it came from Kenny, it's got a better chance of getting over than it does if we go to Danny and Jimmy. And they were right. I used to use Jimmy the same way. I would go to Danny and Rip Rogers when I thought I knew everything. And I'd hear we'd lay out what we were going to do, what we weren't going to do. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, here's what Jimmy thinks we should do. Jimmy never said shit. Well, Jimmy says we should do this. Well, goddamn, that ain't bad, King. That ain't bad. That'd be Rip Rogers. That's a good idea. Let's get that in there, Danny. And then I tell Jimmy says, so you just create ideas that I come up with. I said, mysteriously, they just love them when they think it comes from you. If it comes from me, they tell me to shut the fuck up. So I just claim it's your idea. And he never did smarten them up or tell them any different. But Jimmy must have had 30 of the greatest ideas ever that he never knew he had. But they never once turned me down on something that I said was Jimmy's idea. And I don't know that they ever figured out that Jimmy wasn't saying jack shit. Jimmy sure cares a lot about this show, but this was before Jimmy had got here. And that's when we were kind of recruiting him to come here and get this WWE developmental thing going. I did help this family out yesterday, too. I almost didn't because we'd helped them with a couple of other things, but their electric bill was due. They owed $30 or their electric was cut off. And we kind of have a rule here. We don't really do electric bills anymore. But, you know, we had that $200 night Christmas Eve. We had a few bucks left over, and I wanted to make sure they had their electricity, especially for the new year and shit. Now, we ain't doing school fees anymore. That shit's over. We ain't doing birthday parties anymore. That shit's over. We ain't doing New Year's parties, school parties. That shit's over. We can't afford it no more. Just because you see a good night here, well, there's 75 people, 75 to 100 that need benefits from these good nights because not all the nights are good. And we're $40 shy or $38 shy of having another good night. So the most difficult to work with, because I still haven't completed his question, the ones I made the maddest were Natalie Neidhart, and even though I think me and her are good now, Beth Phoenix got drug in with it, and Serena Deeb was a babyface, female wrestler, and she had when she got in the ring. There's something, and I hope to God she ain't watching the show tonight, and I'm pretty sure she's not. But don't anybody tell her this. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, this was long before she's become a much more professional.
Yeah, and she's considered one of the better in the business, and I think has actually trained a few people. And but Serena Deeb is brand fucking new to a degree, and she's getting in the ring. And I said, my God, look, because I did the same thing to, oh God. She had dark black hair. She was in the WWE, I think, for a little bit. Forgot who she managed. Cameron, I don't know if you can help me. I would not have donated. I would not have donated more. Well, that's not a way to get on my good sign.
No. But he was saying, Cameron's going, you should have not answered the question, and he would have kept giving us $2 to get the answer. So Cameron's trying to work Joseph out of
okay. Okay. But you're breaking up a fight that doesn't need to happen is what you're doing.
I'm trying to
You're saying no.
I appreciate Cameron's efforts to raise more money for the show, right?
So $2 is that's all the bad he wanted to know the answer to that. So
only a little bit, right?
What was her damn name? She had dark black hair. And Cameron, can you think of dark black-haired females that were managers? And she used to get in the ring and she would wrap her legs around the ropes. And she got in the ring once and wrapped her legs around the rope. And I said, my God, can we get somebody out here to fumigate these ropes? I said, look at that skank just did to our ropes. Well, she got word of that and got pissed, and I assumed her vagina stank on live television. And called her a skank, which when I was in Oldham County High School, that was the worst thing you could call a girl. I don't know. I ain't dating that skank. And I don't know what it is about the word skank, but it sounds terrible. And what was her name?
It's just a skanky word.
Sherry or something?
Not sensational. No.
It wasn't Sensational Sherry. It was not. I may have said the same thing to her, though. Me and Sensational Sherry actually have a history.
Yeah.
We have a bit of a history. Lexington, Kentucky.
She was very sensational.
Kentucky. Well, she wasn't known as sensational.
Women's division. Let's see here. That's the current.
We're in the new building, so it would have been after 02.
Notable alumni.
Yeah.
Oh, God, actually, that's a pretty good long list.
She had dark brown hair. It would have been after. It was when Beth Phoenix.
It wasn't Victoria.
It was not Victoria. No, me and Victoria got along great. No, it wasn't Melina. I love Melina. Melina, I thought was one of the most. It was
Taryn
not Terry.
Terrell.
Wasn't Taryn. It wasn't
Joner
Cherry.
Bolt.
I love Cherry. Cherry was with Deuce and Domino. Got along great with Cherry.
Sojourner Bolt, was that?
Oh, I loved her. I loved her. She was a cutie, man. Just a cutie. Loved her. No, I got
Ruby Riot was there, but that was after you were there.
That was after me when Ruby Riot was there. Yeah. No, your Eagles are not going to win the Super Bowl. Got news for you. They ain't going to win. The tush push is over. You better hope the Miami Hurricanes don't win the national title and then go decide to play the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
ODB, one dirty bitch. Jessica Nora.
ODB was a very unique individual. I won't say that we were best of friends. We weren't enemies. We got along, but we were nothing. No, it wasn't Melina. Melina was beautiful. And
Megan Bay.
Wasn't Jillian Hall. Shelly Martinez. There it is.
What Maurice.
And I think Shelly Martinez made a little time. It wasn't Maurice, even though he used to do the same thing. Shelly Martinez is who it was. And she played this kind of dark goth character or whatever. And when she would get in the ring, she would wrap her thighs and her legs around the ropes and just swing and kick and it was kind of nasty looking. And I said, well, somebody needs to get out here and fumigate these ropes. I said, look what that skank just did to our ropes, Dean. And she got word that I called her a skank and lost her mind. But then back to Serena D. But this is where they didn't know what the job of a heel announcer was. And neither did Shelly Martinez. My job was to shit all over her, and she didn't get it. So Serena Deeb was getting in the ring, and Serena Deeb just looked like a little goddess, had the tight thighs and everything, cute little haircut. I mean, she was a good-looking girl. She gets in the ring, and I said, look at that dance. Look at the cellulite. Look at the cellulite on those thighs. Just dripping. Well, King, there's no cellulite on those. Look at it. Can't you see? Get a close-up of that cameraman. Look at that cellulite. All right, so the next week I come to do TV. And because they have the classes to where they get together and watch the videos, of course, they're hearing the announcer's commentary for the first time. I don't hear it during the match. So Serena Deeb is crying. Beth Phoenix is crying. And Natalie Neidhart's got everybody all fucking worked up, bitching about me and my commentary and what I had said about Serena Deeb having cellulite thighs. And they're waiting for me when I walk in the door. We can't believe what you said about her. That was just terrible. You owe her an apology. I said, what do I owe an apology for? You said she had cellulite thighs. I said, does she have cellulite thighs? Well, no. And then I just did that, and I walked over to the desk and sat down. I was always noted for showing up about 5 minutes before the show, sitting at the desk and waiting for Dean to tell me what we need to do. There's no prep. I didn't have to do the 2-hour early thing. I didn't have to do any of that shit. And so I'm sitting down, and then now they're coming over. They're all three starting to show with her. Not so much Serena because she's crying. And I get up and I walk to the back. I said, Danny, what the fuck? He said, what's the matter? I said, fucking Natalie Neidhart's got everybody worked up out there. But on TV last week, I said, Serena Deeb's got cellulite thighs. Yeah, and what about it? I said, well, they got her crying because I said that, and they want me to apologize to her. He says, Kenny, does Serena have cellulite thighs? I said, the point that I just made to him. He says, but what you didn't point out that she's got a big nose. He said, you know why you didn't do that? I said, because she got a big nose. He said, yeah. He said, you didn't do that because she does have a big nose, and it would have been very cold-hearted of you to do that. I said, it would have been. That's probably why you didn't do it, right, Kenny? I said, had a lot to do with it. You've never heard me say it, right? He said, no. And he says, but you didn't have any problem saying she had cellulite thighs. I said, I did not. Why? Because she doesn't. Okay. He says, no, Kenny, here's what you do. You go out there tonight, and when any of those three bitches get in the ring, amp it up times 10 and let them have it. So I didn't go times 10, but I did let them know their shit wasn't going to work. So I think I said, is one of them pregnant? Is Natalie expecting?
How it's unsafe for her to work in the ring in that condition.
We need the commissioner out here. So if that's considered times 10, then maybe I did.
Oh my
but,
gosh.
but Beth Phoenix was relatively new. She didn't know any better. She got caught up being, so I think me and Beth were eventually fine. I don't know that me and Natalie ever patched things up because she's expecting me to apologize, give Serena a hug, and tell her how sorry I am. And that never happened. It was, when Natalie said, Dia, maybe you're some, is Natalie expecting? They said Danny was howling in the back. So I never heard anything about it though. So she was Ariel, Kevin Thorne's manager, valet. Yeah. Oh, I don't even remember what the fuck she worked at, because she worked with Shelly Martinez quite a bit. I actually don't. Oh, she was Ariel in the WWE, because there he
she was in TNA, according to.
Yeah, I think they all called him Seven here. Yeah, she had a bit of a career. Wasn't anything I did anything to help with.
Yeah, she worked on the ECW brand under Ariel, and for TNA under the ring name Salinas.
So. Shout out to my upstairs neighbor, the T, who came down here, cut my hair for me, and it was still a little thick and a little poofy, and he come back down yesterday and put a little fine tuning on it there and got her all trimmed up, and I'm good to go for a little while. And so shout out to T, my personal hairdresser that lives upstairs.
Did you get to work
people
with
say, Kenny, the people say, Kenny, who does your hair? I said, the man upstairs. God cut your hair? I said, no, the man that lives upstairs.
Yeah. God gave you your hair.
She did the vampire gimmick. Exactly right. Yeah, she's kind of the gothy vampire.
Did you work with Alicia Fox?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I loved Alicia. Me and Alicia got along very good. As a matter of fact, I got to judge a beauty contest. Alicia Fox was part of, and Alicia and Kelly was in it.
Is that the one that Mickey James won by kissing you?
Yep. that's how that was. How that went. Well, it was a shoot. I was just supposed to pick a winner. No one knew who the winner was going to be, and it was just a shoot. Whoever Kenny picks is the winner, and no one knew. So the girls are trying to motivate me to pick them. So they're coming over and being a little flirty and everything. Fuck, Mickey James sits on my lap and kisses me, and I just we got a winner. I just stopped it right there. No one else needed to compete. And that was back when her and Cena, I think, had a bit of a thing going. And then apparently from what I heard, she dumped Cena. And started dating some jobber. Allow me to do it, Bob. Hey, Mickey, you fucked up. You fucked up. Because there's $40 million that'd be in your bank account right now, probably. My guess.
Let me think. So Gail Kim, did you work with her?
I did. Yeah, me and Gail got along very good. Gail Kim was dating Doug Basham back then, and me and Gail always got along very good. As a matter of fact, I've done 1 or 2 shows with Gail Kim over the years. I can't remember if she did mine or I did one she was on, but yeah, Gail and I got along very well. Loved Gail. Gail, I thought, was one of the more beautiful. Well, obviously, I thought Gail was one of the more beautiful ones we ever had here. But I have a thing. I think we've all figured out what that thing is.
Did you work with Eve Torres?
Shy guy. We're giving you some good shit here. Was Eve Torres with us?
According to this, now I don't know what time she was down there.
You don't know what year? Well, remember, I left in 2012. So anyway, Eve Torres.
She did Diva Search 2007.
Well, I was obviously there.
2008.
Melina was as naturally sexy as you get. I totally agree with that. Plus, she did the splits when she got in the ring. I don't recall ever wanting to fumigate the ring when Melina got in. She was with Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro. I think her and Nitro were dating at that time. Mercury could be a bit of a prick. I think eventually Joey and I started getting along. But when he got called up to SmackDown, and this is when my health was getting rough. I was nearing talking about retirement at this time. So when I got there, if I wasn't sitting at the desk, I just sat in the back and wait to go out and do the TV show. So Joey's here, and him and Melina and Nitro have all been called up to do SmackDown, and they're doing good. They've had a bit of a run. I did work with Bobby Lard. Me and Bobby got along very good.
Katarina, did you work with Katarina?
I worked with Katarina, certainly did. got along very good with her. Me and Bobby Millard got along
I
extremely
remember
well.
her in WWE.
Bobby could make you feel like she was your girlfriend. She was that easy to work with, that nice, and even flirty to fat, ugly guys like me. I mean, Bobby was something special.
Yeah,
And did not make it as big in the business as I thought she would. And Kelly was the one that just had that natural sexiness to her. But here's to show you where I can fuck up sometimes. I predicted that Kelly and Alicia Fox wouldn't get through OVW because they were so tiny and so thin. I didn't think they could take the bumps, and I knew Rip wasn't going to go easy on them. But goddamn, Alicia Fox took bumps with everybody, and apparently Kelly did enough to pull through. But I predicted neither one. I said both of those girls are going to be gone in 6 weeks. Why are they here? And it was because what's his name, Johnny Ace. He would go through modeling magazines and trying to find women to get in wrestling. He was looking for sexy women, whether they had any talent or not.
The Diva's age.
Yeah. And but no, I said Alicia Fox would never make it, and Alicia was as good as you get for what they wanted her to do, and had attitude out the ass, man. She was good. So no, the only ones I really didn't get along with, if you want to get right down to it, was Natalie Neidhart. As a matter of fact, I tried to make life as easy on Beth Phoenix when her and her boyfriend from Canada, Joey something or another, and they had another guy with them. I can't think of his name. They all come down here from Canada brand new. So Beth kind of made it from scratch. And I even told the three of them, I said, the only one here is going to be a star is going to be Beth. You know, I don't know what you other two fuckers are doing, but Beth has the potential to be a star. And did pretty good. As a matter of fact, I think Beth could still be working there today doing just fine if she wanted to. And she's the one that's with Edge, yeah. And that was obviously not the case when she was here. But no, the only one I really did not click well with was Natalie Neidhart. And she's another one I think is just hung around too. Yeah, I'm sure she's a pretty good technical wrestler and all that shit, but I don't think she adds really anything to the shows. She's taking away from other talent that could be out there, like a Lash legend.
I think that she's more of a mentor.
She should be. That's what she should be doing.
Yeah.
But I think she still wants to be in title hunts and title searches. I worked with Nikita. Nikita was very good. And I really liked her too. So I can't really name any of the divas that I had any issues with other than Natalie for stirring everybody up for me being a heel announcer. And for the one person that should fucking know better. Her father was Jim the Anvil fucking Neidhart. Yes. I could forgive Beth Phoenix for not knowing, Serena Deeb for not knowing, Shelly Martinez for not knowing. But Natalie Neidhart didn't know what the fuck I was doing? Don't steam me. I'm already steamed. Bob, we're still $38 shy.
No, we're actually $26 shy.
Are we 26?
We're $26 shy.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad your math is better. So we're $26 shy. All right. Oh, that's right, because I donated 20 of my own.
You know what, Kenny?
Yeah.
I don't want Cameron to get off the hook.
Well, I don't want him to get off. I don't want to get off the hook either.
So I will donate the remaining 26 to get us up to $150 for the night. And that makes a $300 night with Cameron.
Which tops the Christmas Eve show, which I didn't think we had a shot in hell at doing, because that was a $200 night. Out here all by my lonesome because y'all had lives and I didn't.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be able to market the coal miner in your managing days? Or is it something you think you would have needed to be changed to make it work?
God, that coal miner really sucks. So I don't think it would have worked for me because I would have been good managing a Kane, a coal miner, an Undertaker. That was Paul Bearer's job right from the get go. Right. I don't even know that Bobby Heenan wanted that job. So the Paul Bearer and the Undertaker were just perfect. That's why that fucking worked. Was Paul Bearer. That's what. And that was so well established that after Paul had left and when Paul was gone, you couldn't kill the Undertaker gimmick. Well, literally. But Kane.
But they reinvented it, right? He went through several.
You know, I did not realize that Kane had worked more WWE matches than any other wrestler. Randy Orton's right up there. I think he's 2 or 3. Cena.
Well, we made 150, my friend.
Yeah.
Don't-
Who's this?
Panel versus VOD. I don't know who you are.
If we reach 150, I'll match it. Well, we just made it, and I bet he. I don't know.
So we did make it. In fact, we made 300 because Cameron's matching his 150.
Yeah.
So
we made it
from Cameron. So let's
Yeah.
see how good you are to your word with
We'll
your
see.
StreamYard logo.
He's got a StreamYard logo?
Yeah, he does.
There's not many people that do that.
Nope, not many people at all that do that.
Well, which format are you going to be donating on, my friend? Because we're there. Randy the Macho Man Satterley with a grand total of $75 in donations. And just to show you, Cameron kept his word. There it is. Well, if you can see it. I know that fucking camera's better. Why is there so much glare? Well, shit, Bob. Oh, there it is. Well, there it is. He kept his word. Panelverse VOD. Video on demand, maybe.
Yeah.
So there's his 150. And so let's go through here. So how would you like to donate, Mr. StreamYard logo? Those are the wrong glasses.
Subscriber.
What's that?
They do have. We're not doxing the donator. They announced their donations on the show.
He does shows in my house. I'm not doxing, and it doesn't give any of his personal information away. So, oh, good Lord. He sits here at this desk and does shows with me. You don't watch this show much, do you? He donated $100 the other night. And if he didn't want me to show his donation, he would have told me not to.
We're gonna wait
because we've had people do that.
Yeah, we've had folks. Hey,
that make anonymous donations and they
anonymous donations. We've had folks that say, "Look, don't use my real name."
So if you really actually make that donation and you don't want us to show it, we won't. But so we're there. Bob, I've never seen that.
So just so you know, we have $10 from TC and the NC. We've got 75 from the Macho Man, right?
Total from the Macho Man, yeah.
From the Macho Man. Kenny Bolin gave $20.
20 from me.
Mm-hmm. Here on YouTube, we've got $19 from Joseph Morrison. And then my 26, that makes $150. Cameron has donated $150. That makes $300, Mr. Panelverse. So if indeed you are gonna, look, 2 more.
Well, I disagree with that, Joseph. I think Natalie had decent promo skills, and there's less charisma. There's less. I just think she's hung around too long. There's a lot of good young talent down on the farm, as they say. I watch NXT and I don't hear anybody over there that can't cut a promo and can't work. I'm really.
When you were out with Chris, we have the women's division is as deep as it's ever been.
Oh yeah. Oh, if there's ever a group of people that deserve their own fucking TV show, let's don't do SmackDown for 3 hours. Let's give the women at least a 90-minute show somewhere.
Yeah, at least a full hour. Give them an hour and make it the third hour.
But some people will say, well, NXT is the women's show, and there's an argument to be made there. There's lots of times I watch NXT, and it's the only thing worth watching is what the women are doing.
So we're going to wait around.
Panelverse VOD, we're just waiting on you there, buddy, or just tell us you're not going to do it, and we won't bother you. Just waiting on you to see. Yeah, there it is. So just waiting to see if you're going to do that or not. 11:25 p.m. on the East Coast.
Yep.
Oh, go Canes. Go Canes. So who you got? Miami versus Ole Miss. What do you got?
I am going to go with Miami. I think the Hurricanes actually they're on this roll right now.
They play hard. They play hard.
They do, and
I tell you, the other thing that's helping is that your boy ain't throwing 4 interceptions a game like he did during those 2 games they did lose.
Yeah, that does tend to help
when he ain't making mistakes. And let's face it, Miami should have beaten Ohio State by at least 10 to 14 more.
They definitely had that opportunity.
Well, Joseph is certainly getting our donations up over here on this format for the 21st. Defense wins championships, and the Eagles have the best defense in the NFC. They just need 20 points from the offense. Well, unless the other team gets 21. I mean, they have lost a few games this year. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but the amazing thing about the NFC is
they're not the number 1 seed. That's either going to be Seattle or San Francisco, correct?
Oh, that happens tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. Yeah,
we will know that, and we actually got 3 meaningful games. So here's the funky thing now: if
you don't know how bad you think I was into the Hurricane game the other day. I'll definitely be into that Raven game. They think Lamar is going to play.
Yeah, so that's the Sunday night game, right? So
I'll be big time into that one. Anytime we can put Aaron Rodgers out and put Lamar in, I'll be into that game.
If Carolina wins, they are like a 99% chance that they're going to take the division. If Tampa wins, they take the division. But if Tampa wins and so if Carolina wins, they win the division. If Tampa wins, they win the division unless the Falcons win and then Carolina wins on tiebreakers, because then they would all 3 be tied. The Falcons have managed to win enough games now at the end of the year to work themselves back into, they're eliminated, but they could play a spoiler role. If Tampa wins tomorrow and Atlanta wins on Sunday, then Carolina still makes the playoffs. 8-8, or sorry, 8-9 team makes the playoffs.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bob, has anybody made bad comments about me in here tonight that I didn't see?
I didn't see any.
Eunice says, I see a comment I don't like to say a bad comment about you. My patience is not long for those fuck people. Remember, Dad, I hate someone telling shit about you.
I don't see anything. Let me just go. I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at every comment that we've had.
Yeah,
there was the one that says, I still have the shirt you sent me, Kenny, that said, thank you, fuck you, goodbye, good day.
Yeah.
I think maybe she saw that one and took that.
Maybe it's the Filipino translation, maybe.
Well, I mean, the fuck you part of it. That was a T-shirt that Kenny had made that said, thank you, goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah. That's just an old shirt, honey. They didn't mean anything bad by that. See, sometimes it's good to have context, as they say. Context.
Exactly.
Well, are you good or are you not? So we just give me a yes or no. I mean, we don't need to. If you're going to do it, we greatly appreciate it. Even though I don't remember seeing you in here before. And if you're not, then just say so. Well, we'll give him. We'll do 6 minutes, Bob, and he either will or he won't. And I kind of feeling you know where that's going to go. But yeah, I was the one that did thank you, fuck you, good day. Jimmy is thank you, fuck you, bye. And then I forgot I did that shirt, to be honest with you, but I remember it now. Boy, he paid good money to get his shit in about the Eagles here, didn't he?
He did.
He sure did. What's the Eagles' record and who's beat them this year?
So the Eagles of Philadelphia, they are 11-5, which is good record.
Yeah, but 5 losses is not,
They lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Broncos.
They did.
Lost to the Giants.
What?
It's a bad loss. They lost to the Giants.
That's a horrible fucking loss. I remember I watched that game.
They lost to the Cowboys, Bears, and Chargers. Lost 3 in a row.
Gee, they lost to the Cowboys? You'll go the Cowboys. That was a bad loss.
Yeah. So they did manage to beat the Raiders, the Commanders.
I want to give him his $5 back.
And the Bills. They beat the Bills by a point in a very strange game.
That was a very strange game. They could have very easily lost that game. Very, very easily.
They beat the Packers by 3. Beat the Lions. The Lions are a disappointing team this year. I really thought the Lions were going to be
Can you do any research? Can you do any research on that account, Bob? Sometimes you do.
Yeah, sometimes I can. Let's see. Let's pop in here real quick. And
yeah, because I'm, anytime you see a StreamYard logo, you got to go.
Yeah, that's a little unusual. All right, we're not seeing that real often.
Yeah, we never see that, to be honest with you.
Let's go back.
Panelverse VOD. And plus, he won't answer it since he offered to pay the $150.
Yeah, especially because we made the $150 right about that time.
Right about that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me know what you, because they're not answering us. I wonder why. Well, he has every opportunity to take that title away from him if he actually honored what he said he's going to do.
Looks like they managed to let Panelverse go to the channel, and now they've changed their name to Beta Mustafavi.
Have they? Yeah.
Yeah. Joined April 24th, 2024. They've got 1 subscriber. And you know what?
They're doing real good.
They're doing really well. So at Beta Mustafavi, with your no content and your 1 subscriber.
I don't see that 150 coming, do you?
I don't think that 150 is coming. In fact, you know what, Kenny?
Yeah. You want to make an executive decision? Is that what you want to do?
Ban Hammer.
The minute I saw the StreamYard logo, and you've never seen that name, and all of a sudden they're wanting to do 150.
And now you've changed your name.
And then change your name like you piece of shit coward, you. A natural born troll. Why don't you do that? Do NBT, natural born troll. That's what you are.
The NBTs.
Right. Well, Cameron, and we thought we had a $450 night there for a second. Yeah. That's what we saw. Is anybody else out there that would like to step up and replace the $150 that he took us out of when he changed his name and went into the witless protection program? Because he has no wit. No, I'm not talking about. And Macho Man did very nice. He did 75 for us tonight. He not only is he a cheap bastard, he's a lying bastard, and he has 1 subscriber on his channel. That's worse than me. It's worse than me.
That's actually worse than me. And I don't do.
Do you have a channel?
I have a channel. Everyone who has a YouTube account has a channel.
I guess they do technically have a channel then. Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah.
Yes.
How many subscribers you got?
I think 9.
Well, there you go. That's 8 more than this guy's got.
Yeah.
That's 8. It's 8 more than I haven't heard the phrase ban hammer in a while. Will you be doing a show Monday when we watch Raw? We haven't done that yet.
I have 4 subscribers.
So. You have 4. You have 5 of them.
I lost 5 because of the ban hammer.
Yeah. We haven't done the Monday watch long yet because we normally do the Tuesday shows.
Right.
But I do have that box over here that we need to ship. He's excited to get that. The computer that's going to Donald Flowers. Thought Donald might be watching tonight. Well, I tell you who ain't watching that we didn't get her donation from, and that's Naughty Nicole. We did not see Naughty Nicole one more time.
No.
And Rain sent me a picture of her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a story. That's a story. Oh God.
We'll tell it another time then.
Yeah, we'll have to tell that. That is not a 1-minute story that I can tell. I got the longest fucking email from her. Woe is me, this, that, and the other. And I tried to, I snapped at her a little bit for telling me how miserable her life is. And then I said, no, I can explain misery to you. And then I told her about the people that we help. And then she actually tried to make her situation worse than the Filipinos that we help. So I think we've had to say goodbye to Becky. So I can't donate anymore. No. And it's all because her Trump blowing sister has been giving her shit. And so if you're going to let your Trump blowing sister punk you out at the age of 60 when you know better, then we will just move on and good luck to you. That's what we'll do. So that's the short version of that story. And I would send you the text of everything she wrote me, but you're a reader and you won't read all this. So, and I'm not a reader, and I kind of wished I hadn't. So that actually sounds like someone we both know, doesn't it? My story is yeah. We know. Oh God, yeah, we definitely know that person. Yeah, we do. But one of these days, I guess we're going to try that watch along and see how it goes, and just maybe blur it out in the background and keep the sound down to where the fans can't hear it. Did they block you for the sound too, Bob, or do you know?
They will, yeah, because I've
Goddamn.
seen, yeah, I've
Huh.
seen. Well, one of our friendly shows that have been longtime friends of our shows. They had a pay-per-view on in the background, just playing the sound, and they got
Our
hit.
old buddies were doing that, huh?
Yeah,
I finally made
and
my
they weren't
green
screaming. They were
jacket sleeveless.
they were
to go with
talking
my-
about it, and it was on, and so bang, got
Well,
killed.
I didn't throw this on during the show, but I've been talking about making this thing sleeveless for several years because I like how the orange sleeves look. And this is about as hurricane green as you can get. I didn't wear it during the show tonight, but there you go.
It's very
And-
hurricane green.
Yeah, I decided to make, that's about as hurricane green as you can get right there. And so I cut the sleeves out of it because I like the contrast, the orange. Michael Irvin, I think, is on cocaine. Michael Irvin. Oh, and he lifted his shirt up when I watched the Pat McAfee feed today, to where McAfee's doing. I didn't know that McAfee did commentary over the whole game from the end zone, but that's what he does. So they got 3 of those dipshits at one end zone, McAfee and 2 other dipshits at the other end of the end zone, and McAfee does commentary over the game. Well, McAfee is the only one that picked Miami to beat Ole Miss, or who? Not Ole Miss. Who did we play? Ohio State. Yeah, McAfee's the only one that picked Miami to win. And he said, I'm going with the Canes. And everybody else across the board picked Ohio State. And Ohio State was a 9.5 point favorite before kickoff. That's a big, that's a 20 point turnaround right there. And but no, as my son said, I hate it that McAfee is so entertaining. Because we're pretty sure we're pretty sure he's a Trump blower. As was a large chunk of WWE these days. And but he is so entertaining at not only the wrestling commentary and the shit he does, College Game Day. I'll be honest with you, the only reason I watch it's probably because of him. And the kickoffs when they got the kids kicking for the money and everything. He's very entertaining. And I actually think he and I would get along pretty good as long as we didn't bring politics up and as long as he didn't start trying. But I will give you this. He does not seem to try to shove the Trump cock down everybody's throat. He doesn't seem to be that type of person. To each their own, whatever. But when Mick Foley has to leave the company due to the loyalty to Donald Trump by Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon, and he just doesn't want to be associated with it anymore. I gladly stand with Mick Foley. As we're learning, we didn't do a lot of politics tonight, but there's more and more shit coming out on Trump on a daily basis. 5 million pages, only 5%'s been released, and they hired the FBI solely to scrub the pages that had Trump's name in it. But some genius somewhere figured out how to cut, copy, and paste the redacted shit. I didn't know that would work. I tell you what does work though on AI. If you have AI unfilter these pictures, it gives you the original picture because it's seen it somewhere and it remembers it. And I used AI and it uncovered them and showed who was in those pictures. And then when the real pictures finally were released, that's who it was. So that worked. So I figured AI might be able to do something with redacted docs, but I never did try it. But apparently some genius out there said, well, I'll just cut, copy, and paste it. And then when they pasted it somewhere else, it revealed everything that was there.
Yeah, what happened was that
Did you know you're an IT guy? Did you know that would work?
It normally would not work, but because the morons decided that instead of
they said that morons are responsible for why this was
instead of actually blacking out the words, they put a black image over the text on the web pages. So whenever the people copied the text from the web page and then they pasted it in a notepad, which doesn't support the pictures all got stripped out, and then you could see all the.
But even dumber than them, even dumber than the people that did that, was for you to reveal that you could do this, because they would have kept doing it the same way. For 95% more of those documents that are coming out, they should have just held their little secret. Okay, keep releasing and then reveal. They tipped it too early. On behalf of the moron Cameron, resents that statement. It's hard to anger the person that did the big donation tonight. It's hard to do that.
It is.
Oh, by the way, we did not make $300 tonight. We made $320 because we still went ahead and said 20 on top of the 150. So we made $320. So you don't think the guy that hit his identity that has one subscriber is going to come through with what he pledged?
I think he's probably.
Can you get me the home? Take a look real quick and just say yes or no as to whether you can do it. Can you get me his home address?
No.
You need to learn how to work, Bob. Because I wanted you to say, "Yep, got it right here, Kenny. Thank you, Bob. Send that to me." And then we'll just let him sweat a little bit because he probably ain't very smart.
Oh, yeah.
Or were you working him when you said no and you're actually sitting there looking at it and you're going to give it to me when the show's over?
I mean,
one of us got work. One of us got work.
If I told them out loud that I could do it, then they'd be worried.
So now he truly doesn't know.
Now he doesn't know.
He just truly does not. Is
Bolin
working me? Is Bob? Did they really have magic? Did they copy and paste my fake name?
I've watched NCIS often enough to know that you can do a reverse IP lookup and find someone's house within 8 seconds of them being online. I mean, that's how it works on TV. So.
That normally does. You got an hour to solve this shit. Have you seen the movie that's coming out to where you got an hour to prove your innocence? Or 90 minutes or something like that? It's coming out in mid-January. And basically they'll arrest you on anything, and then you got like 90 minutes to prove you're innocent.
I think I've seen a trailer or something for that movie.
Yeah, and otherwise it's the death penalty. God damn. I think Trump is behind that movie.
It's like the Running Man in reverse.
Kind of what it's coming across as. Well, Bob, thank you for helping us out tonight, man. I mean, it all worked out and not too bad. I better get off here. I know we got a bathroom roof we got to fix. We got some rice to fix, a couple of electric bills. So let me reach out to these people, find out who we got to help. And other than that, we might do Bob, you up for a watch along on Monday if we do something like that?
We'll see. I think so, probably.
And just try to figure out how we can hear it and not have it go out over the airwaves.
The problem would be getting it synced up so that we're both hearing it at the same time.
Yeah, because me and you, well, I don't think that'd be that big of a deal for me and you. It would be the fans getting synced up.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, my son was watching Wave TV 3 in Manila today. So we're going to start smartening some of the Manila people up to what goes on in the city of Louisville, Kentucky. So that ought to be fine. So yes, 7:30. The one advantage the Canes have, they got an extra day off over Ole Miss. Are there point spreads out yet? Do we have point spreads on these upcoming games?
We probably do. Let's see here.
So the Canes where are they playing? Is that Sugar Bowl?
College football national bracket. I don't need to see my bracket because I didn't put one in. Idiots. All right.
That was not an insult. That was a T-shirt I used to have. They were just talking about a T-shirt I used to sell. So no, honey, they were not insulting me. You just took it the wrong way. She just sent me the screenshot of what was said.
Yeah, it was the T-shirt, right?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
college football playoff. Even in retirement, Nick Saban's come on, ESPN.
You know what? I don't think I did a picks thing either for the college football. I don't think I did one either.
All right, so
But by the way, before we get going though, I love Oregon, so I had Oregon where they are.
Right.
I've been telling you all year long that Indiana was better than Ohio State. Well, I think they proved that.
Yeah,
Indiana's there.
I had an Indiana Ohio State finals. I remember that.
Did you really? Oh my God!
I had Indiana in the finals, but going against Ohio State was that. I remember that.
Well, you know what? I bet a lot of people had that.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you? Because they were the two teams that looked like they were pretty fucking hard to beat, and it was a 3-point game when they played each other.
Right.
So I can see a lot of people. But I never dreamed it would be the jolly stomping that got put on Alabama. Holy shit.
Yeah, Ole Miss and Miami, January 8th in the Fiesta Bowl.
Okay, I'm going to think Miami will be a 3-point favorite. What do we got?
They are a 3.5-point favorite.
3.5. Okay, all right.
Indiana and Oregon is January 9th.
Hang on. I got Indiana.
It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. This is important.
That's the Peach Bowl. That'd be in Georgia. Okay, where's the Miami game?
The Fiesta Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl is in
Arizona, isn't it?
Arizona, I think. Yeah.
Fuck. Hope that's a night game. I don't want us playing because you know what I used to hate about the Fiesta Bowl.
Central.
Yeah, what I used to hate about the Fiesta Bowl is back in the day, back in the 70s, when I used to watch it in LaGrange. New Year's Day, the first game would be the Fiesta Bowl. It was 11:45 kickoff, and they're playing out west. That's an 8:45. Yeah, 8:45 kickoff out there.
Yeah, so that's Thursday night. Next Thursday night, it's a 6:30 Eastern or 6:30 Central.
Oh, is that a Thursday night game? Well, guess what we won't be doing.
And then Friday night is the Indiana Oregon game.
Okay, spread on. I'm going to have Indiana as about a 4.5-point favorite.
Indiana is a 4-point favorite right now.
Goddamn, I'm not bad at this shit. All right.
I'm not bad.
All right. What I hate about the Fiesta Bowl was that there wasn't enough chips. Comedy's hard.
It is. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Although now it's the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, they've changed it. And and being as we had such a good night, I'm going to go. Nick Saban had a great fucking idea. He wants the bowl games done away with at the end of the year. And I would ordinarily have not thought this would be a great idea, but after hearing it, I think it is a great idea. The bowl games start the fucking season. Have all the shitty fucking bowl games, neutral sites, and this is kind of how we get a positioning of where we want to start the rankings for the year. It's almost like a preseason game. No, let's not have any conference matchups. Let's not do that shit. But we have preseason games, conference versus conference. And try to have them equal matchups as best as the people think they can do. And it would be a preseason game, bowl game. And then we play those games, and now we got a good idea where everybody's at, what they're capable of. Because there's enough fucking bowl games. You can have the top probably 50 teams playing in a bowl game. What do you think? There's got to be 25 fucking bowl games.
Yeah. Oh, there's more than that.
There's too many. Yeah, there's too many.
Yeah.
So Nick Saban's got a great idea there. I don't know how quickly you can implement it, but we open the season with the bowl games. And at the end of the year, there are no fucking bowl games. We have at least a 16-team field. I'd say go 32. If you can have 68, and here's what I'm going to do to back it up with. If you can have a 68-team field in college basketball, how many times is number one, because the opening round, number one plays number 16. How many times has number 16 won? It's less than that hand.
One.
Chaminade beat Virginia once. Yeah, and I think Duke or North Carolina lost an opening round game here a while back. One of the big power teams lost in the opening round, but number one has beaten 16. Maybe
only two number 16 seeds have ever upset. UMBC beat Virginia in 2018.
Virginia, that's what it was.
Farley Dickinson beat Purdue in 2023.
So it's happened twice, and then Chaminade beat Virginia back when it was, I think, a 48-team field back then.
Yeah.
And Chaminade beat Virginia when they were ranked number one, I think. And
Chaminade versus that's CH. That's why it's spelled.
But you know what? That might have not been in a tournament. That might have been number one ranked Virginia going to Chaminade. This would have been in the 70s.
1982.
Maybe early. Huh?
1982.
Okay, that's why I remember, because I was still on Main.
Chaminade.
I was on Main Street till
Yeah.
'84, and I remembered I lived on Main Street when it happened, and Chaminade beat Virginia. Was that a tournament game, or was that
December 23rd, 1982, at the Honolulu International Center.
That's what it was. Yeah.
The
Okay.
Silver Swords were an NAIA team.
Yeah. They beat the number one team in America.
Then they beat the Virginia Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Who were 8-0.
And Ralph Sampson was on that team.
Yeah.
7'4" fucking.
Biggest upset of all time. That's what
I would still rank that as the biggest upset of all time. And eventually, Louisville got beat by Chaminade playing in that fucking tournament out there. And it got to the point where if you were good, you did not want to go to Hawaii and play Chaminade. Because
the Chaminade Silver Swords. Yeah.
I could not have told you their last name for anything. Thought it might have been the Silverfish. But Saban's got a great idea there. Let's start the bowl games, beginning of you know what? There's bound to be an answer there real quick. How many bowl games are there?
2025.
Or you want me to computer it?
Bowl game. I got. I'm looking it up right now.
All right.
There were 41 FBS college football games.
I thought 26
including
might
the
be
12
high.
teams. So that includes all the playoffs, right? That includes all the playoffs.
Well, let's take the playoffs out of that.
That's 12 teams. So that's 4 first to the 6. That's 11 games. So there's 30 non
okay
playoff football.
So we can have 30 bowl games or 32, whatever. We can have 32 bowl games. That's 64 teams that get to participate in the bowl games. And then out of that 64 teams that plays in those bowl games, now we got something to base rankings on. And people will get behind that. Because now we're seeing for teams any good. Louisville plays the Arizona Sun Devils or whatever.
The Notre Dames of the world that sorry, we didn't make the playoffs. We're not playing in some secondhand.
Yeah.
Well,
good. If you don't want to play, you don't get factored into the system. That's something else Nick Saban said. Notre Dame, pick a fucking conference. You're in the ACC and everything, so you can have a TV deal with NBC. And as part of their contract, Notre Dame has to play 5 ACC games. What's everybody else play? They have to play 6. So Notre Dame plays one less ACC game than everybody else, but because of that one game, they get to declare themselves independent and get a TV deal with NBC for one fucking game. That's a crock of shit. Play in the fucking system or don't. And then we get to the end of the year, 32-team playoff. Nobody gets a bye week because the bye weeks have been a disaster for the good teams already. 5 out of the 6 byes, 5 of them have lost. Indiana's the only one that got a bye that won. So let's do away with that and have a computer do the seeding. If you're 33rd, shut the fuck up. If you're 33rd, shut the fuck up, because I don't think however this works out, that would be, how would the seedings go on that, Bob? 1 through.
Well, if you're 1 through 32, then that's right. One would play 32.
Yeah, so it'd be an 8 seed. So it's a bunch of 1s versus 8s. We got 4. Yeah, we got 4 1s against 4. That 8 seed is not going to beat that number 1 very often, I would not think.
No,
but probably way more often than a 16 beats a 1 in college ball, in basketball. So I think the probability of an 8 beating a 1 would be higher, but not dramatic. Everybody and the first 8 games are home games. Those first 8 games, 16 games. So 16 teams get a home game, and then after that, we go to neutral sites. And I think that'd be a hell of a lot better. Extend the season. Big money, because the bowl games are still going to make about the. And here's something else. I think the importance of those, because who gives a shit right now? Who did Texas play recently in the bowl game?
I could care less.
Half a fucking stadium. Louisville played in their bowl game. Half a fucking stadium. Who gives a fuck? Because nobody wants to be there. And then all these opt-outs. You're professional. You don't get to opt out.
When there was no more than 15 or 20 bowl games, that they would all travel, right? Because they were a big deal. But now that there's 41 of them, who cares?
Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
When 7-win teams and 6-win teams, they had to put in a minimum at one point. Like you had to win at least 6 games to be bowl
And
eligible.
now you got teams with losing records making bowl games because there's too fucking many bowl games.
Who cares? Yeah, and who cares?
But yeah, I think if you only had
we got
32 bowl games, to me is a lot. But I think it would mean a lot more at the beginning of the season, it's first of the year. People would give a shit. This is going to determine where we're ranked. How good are we? I think people would travel and support them better than at the end of the year when you're disappointed that you're not playing for anything that's worth anything. Right. At least this has meaning. This is going to position us for the rankings, and then the computers are going to determine every win means something. This is considered preseason, but it means look who showed up. Pam, where's your Canadian donation? I know you got an excuse. Just go ahead and drop it on me.
You know what, Pam? Forget your donation. Just come to Texas.
Oh,
move in with me.
Oh,
I'll make a donation on your behalf.
Move in with Bob, because that way you'll appreciate a man when you get here.
I can't have Pam move in because then Jelly Bean would
be Jelly Bean to get pissed. So then you piss off the Filipino connection. You don't want to do that.
I know.
All righty. It's 3 minutes shy of midnight, and a very successful night. I never dreamed it was going to go that good, and but yeah, we did pretty good tonight. And so I got to get off here, find out who all needs help, get some money out, and
take care of those dogs.
Oh, they're probably going to be about ready to go. I just got shit on, Bob. Are you really going to Texas? When you going, Bob? You might be. Get that look off your face.
My DMs are open.
I'm gonna tell Jelly Bean.
My DMs are open, Pam.
My son's gonna be having dinner with Honey Rose tomorrow. My sweet little Honey Rose.
There you go.
And a few others just lining up the Prince tour here in Manila.
Yeah. I see.
He did say that there's not another man in Manila that looks like me. I walk around here and you get all these little motherfuckers, and he said it's old white guys looking for sex.
You can send him to Calbiog and they go, "Where does Jelly Bean live?" Well, there is really not an address because it's not really an official street. It's more like
yes, she says she is going to Texas. Well, what brings you to Texas, Pam? And what's it? I think she probably is going to Dallas, if I had to guess.
I'm flying. I'll be there for about 18 seconds on a layover.
Kenny, you told me to go.
There you go.
I guess I did, didn't I? All right, well, go down there and sample Bob out, and then when you get to Louisville, oh yeah,
I might never do another show. I might be just gone. It might kill me.
It could be
right out.
It could be. Well, Pam, good to see you again. We haven't seen you in a while, so good to see you in here. And let's see. Lots of big things happening in the Philippines, and next year, hopefully, maybe even get bigger. So until Monday night, possibly for the watch along show, we can figure out exactly how we want to do it. And so where we can see it, comment on what we're seeing, and for a little bit of a different experience. Send me the home address of that guy that said he was going to donate. If he's in the Connecting 48, we'll find him. I got people that'll get our money or the value thereof. As long as he's got something worth $150, maybe his shoes. I don't know.
I don't know where. I think it's a big state, Harlan, honey. It's a big state.
I have a friend. I'm not exactly sure where. I think in Houston.
Houston's not close, but it's okay.
Yeah. Houston's a bit of a haul. But if you say Fort Worth or Irving, goddamn, you in business now. And Pam, I'll say it right now. Pam is a slightly above average looking woman. I mean, let's go ahead and say that right now.
Yes,
let's cover that ground.
She's slightly out of my league to begin with, but
Oh Lord. I just saw Christine Jarrett hit Lawler in the ass with a broom over here on my phone. So that means it's definitely time to go. All right, well, thanks everybody for bailing us out, especially the star of the game. DM the address. Our star of the game, Cam Moron, for his donations tonight. We really appreciate it. Macho Man Randy Satterley was second place. And then that other guy that didn't donate, well, you're the dickhead of the night for being such a troll. You worthless one subscriber little bitch you. So until Monday night, or maybe Tuesday night, possibly Monday. That's Bob.
Thursday,
I'm
Friday.
Kenny. Or you just pick a day and see
For
if we
Pam
show up.
Ortiz, we said,
For
good day, baby.
a good day, biatches.